Sisters and brothers, fellow Corsiuses, all over the world, the churches have been shuttered to be gatherings such as for Easter Triduum liturgies. We all, lay and clergy alike, feel sad about the suspension and or curtailment of our Christian celebrations for weeks, including the Holy Triduum. Continuously, there is fear and grief that pervade our society, as well as impatience and political anger festering between the two political sides of our nation. There is division, and COVID-19 will certainly feed on that division. We have been experiencing this uncertainty for weeks now and beyond. But as Easter people who celebrated the Paschal Triduum, we know that the dark clouds will disappear, although at the expense of how many deaths, more over the 40,000 already reported, at the expense of how many more furloughs and loss of employment and business. There is palpable uncertainty indeed. Unfortunately, as believers in the gospel, we trust that there will be a new day in the Lord. We recently remembered and celebrated the Passion of the Christ leading to his resurrection, didn't we? We have passed through Good Friday and rejoice again at Easter. We have rejoiced anew that the evil's grasp or hold and death's victory have been vanquished by goodness and by life in the risen one. We will rise again. In the midst of the coronavirus pandemic battering our human race, we have certain hope. Christ promised, remember, I will be with you until the end of time. That means he is with us in this trouble, in this journey, and also in the midst of the difficulties. I will be with you until the end of time. That means forever. It is in God's DNA that he will never abandon us. His goodness shall prevail. We see it in the doctors, this hope, and in the nurses and other hospital personnel who are in the front lines caring for the sick and helping them to heal. We see it among the farmers and truck drivers as they see their vocation of assuring there is food on our tables. We see it among grocery workers who restock the store with things we need to survive. We see it in the chemists and medicine people who relentlessly search for drugs that alleviate the sick and help save lives. We see it also in people making masks at home to donate to those who cannot find in grocery stores. We see it in the volunteers for live-streamed liturgies and masses. We see it in people who serve out food for the homeless and the frontliners at the risk of their own health and lives. We see it in the leaders of American states and other nations finding ways to steer their people from the destruction of COVID-19. The list of goodness is long. There is good in spite of the gloom that seems to overshadow us. See, being locked may impose limitations on what we were used to be doing in the past. But it's time to find more opportunity for prayer, time for reading about good things, about God's love, about his word, about the church which Jesus instituted as guide for us, and pray my dear sisters and brothers, that this ordeal we collectively experience will end sooner, not later. De Colores.